Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I said hello to everybody I may have missed, and everybody out there that's not able to chat along with us. Good morning to you. I hope everyone, Dina, you just popped in. Good morning. I have a kink in my neck back here, so if you see me a little robot-ish, it's just one of those things. I tried to put the shower on it this morning to it didn't work. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving week. I was going to say Valentine's Day week. Wow, I'm off. Thanksgiving week for those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving. I know that you guys are probably just as excited as I am to hopefully have friends and family around. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're hosting. Maybe you're not able to be with those friends and family. Maybe you are kind of doing it solo this year. Maybe you don't celebrate at all, but I think it's a great way to not just remember the reason for the season, but also just Thanksgiving and gratitude in general. So good morning, and we're so happy to have you guys here with us. Dogs have bones. They're around. Eric is here, although not feeling very well at all today. So he says he's not going to be on camera, but he's here. He's over there. Hi, he says. You might. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that he feels good. So we'll give you all sorts of updates. So my question as we start this out, because I need to go through these comments, afterwards as we, after our little thingy is over, I usually go back through and just kind of check and see if there's anything that I may have missed, because I know sometimes I don't see it all because I'm looking here and all the chat stuff is happening here. So for Thanksgiving, I would like to know, please, sweet potato casserole or candied yams? That's question number one. Sweet potato casserole or candied yams. Those are your two choices. If you do something else with your sweet potatoes, that's fine. But sweet potato biscuit, that's another one, sweet potato biscuits. Sweet potato casserole or candied yams. What do you call them and which do you make? And then my other is mashed potatoes, lumps or no lumps. These are very, very important questions. Okay. Mashed potatoes, lumps or no lumps. Sweet potato casserole or candied yams. You can tell where I'm from when I say candied yams, right? And then the other question is for pies, for the desserts. Are you pumpkin? Are you apple? Are you pecan? Tell me. These are all the things that I need to know. So we are planning our Thanksgiving. I've got a 25-pound turkey defrosting or thawing in the fridge. It'll be there a few more days, obviously. Every family has their traditions and the dish that they are most looking forward to. I remember all of those so fondly with my family, going over to my grandma and granddaddy's house. She was a fantastic cook. So I remember all of these, those special moments. And it's funny because even as an adult, I remember those as a child. So I know you have those memories too. And if you are younger or if you have young ones, just remember you get to start to create those memories as well. So very excited about that. Oh, okay. I'm going to see what some of these are coming in. Oh, no. Kim Sokolsky, I don't think we're friends anymore, my love. She says no lumps. Okay, well, you will not ever like my mashed potatoes at our house. I like the texture of the chunk of potato in there. I still love you. It's okay. All right, so let me see. What do we have somebody? Oh, okay, Enchanted Nomads. We shall dine together. Lumps, candied yams, Melody, yay, casserole, and no lumps. Okay, no lumps. Pumpkin we have, all right. Melody also likes lumps. And then candied yams, no lumps, and the mashed potatoes and apple pie. Susie Q says apple. Susan, no sweet potatoes at all and lumps. Okay, this is good. Pam and John. So we may have to have two tables at our virtual Thanksgiving that we'll all do together. We'll have to have the lumps and the no lumps table because honestly, you really can't go wrong with mashed potatoes. But so yeah, Pam said no lumps. Ronald says mashed potatoes, lumps. Yes, thank you. Jane, when I had Thanksgiving at my family in the USA, candied yams and pecan pie. That's it. Oh my gosh, I'm salivating. Wait, Pam. Question number 3, apple or cherry? Okay. I don't know. I'm not a big cherry pie person. They're too, what's the word? Is it tart? Is that the right word? I like cherries, but in small doses. Fred, stovetop stuffing, apple pie. First of all, Stiff Top Stuffing. You and my daughter Allie would get along very well. Candy DMs. Okay, I am absolutely so excited that when I said candy DMs, that so many of you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm not completely sure that that's something that everybody is used to. So a lot of people will say, sweet potatoes. But when I say candy jams, that's a whole nother ballgame. All right, guys. So that was exciting. Keep throwing me your oh my gosh, like hot apple pie with vanilla ice cream. Dina, killing me. Yes. Okay. Well, good. So Elizabeth says, Elsie said, okay, Elsie hasn't had any of this yet. The casserole, no lumps and pumpkin. Well, that's because she's 6 months old, so she can't have the lumps in the mashed potatoes. But Mimi's mashed potatoes in the future will have lumps. I'll make sure she has some that have no lumps specifically for her. Okay, guys, so let's get back to the reason for our little visit on Monday mornings, shall we? We have a lot to talk about. We have our brewing topics, updates here and there, some new things, and obviously, as always, if you've got questions, whether it is our bountiful, spread that you'll have at Thanksgiving, feel free to ask those questions too. But any questions, make sure you have a capital Q with a colon. That would be super, super helpful. Okay, Susan has a question, Eric says. Susan says, if you have deviled eggs, how many do you need to make? Zero. Eric says 0. Eric doesn't like deviled eggs. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Eric doesn't like deviled eggs. I don't know. Is that a real question? I don't know. I almost feel like it's a joke. We don't do deviled eggs. We do deviled eggs more for, well, we don't actually do them very often, but like when I was a kid, we did those more for, well, I guess we did do them for those holidays. I don't know. I felt like that was more of a spring or summer thing that people would make. But I do like deviled eggs, but nobody else really does, so I don't really make them. But hey, you know what? I will put that question out to my kiddos that are watching. We already know Eric's vote, and I probably already know Forrest's vote as well. Forrest, you can vote, and you can vote for Caroline. And Elizabeth, you could vote for you and for Steele and blah, 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 names. Allie, you can vote for you and for Hong. Deviled eggs, should we throw that? Should we throw that in with the mix this year? No. All right. Eric is adamantly no. Okay. All right. We got it. Eric's vote is in, and he will supersede all of us. All right. So let's get ourselves going this morning. Grab your cup. I've got mine. I have mine. You are the pumpkin to my pie, my friends. This is my mug, and I think my coffee kind of tastes nasty because I made it like really early this morning. So let's get going with what's brewing, shall we? Okay, so our brewing topics for this Monday, which by the way, the date is November 25th. We have old versus new, gutters, drainage, and flooding, and how that relates to homes here in Florida, and the holiday sludge. All right, so lots of things going on. By the way, just as I said the date, November 25th, it reminded me that yesterday, Eric sent me a text, and I guess it was a photo that popped up in like your Facebook time hop or something. Yeah, he sent me a picture of when we moved here, our keys to our Royal Oak home. Royal Oak was the builder when we first moved here. It was just a picture of the little keychain with our 2 brand new house keys on it, and that was 10 years ago, as of a couple days ago, yesterday, I guess, which coincidentally, both times we moved here in Florida, it was literally the day before Thanksgiving. We closed the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So this is definitely our Florida anniversary whenever we get to the Thanksgiving season. So, all right. So again, our brewing topics. So the first topic is old versus new. So what I mean by this, and I didn't do a list or anything. I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. And this is partly because of our enchanted nomads, because of an older home. And when I say old, I mean, it can be, 10, 15, 20 years old. It could be 50 years old. It could be older. But old versus new when it comes to things like that. So we talk a lot about new construction. So, I can run off the lists of all of the positives of new construction. And there are negatives, and we'll get to those too. But some of the positives. And I think this is important when you are looking. Now, first of all, in this area, if you're looking for an older homes here are still not very old. So we have to kind of use that with a grain of salt, right? We have to understand kind of what we're talking about there. But new construction, obviously, we talk about the benefits. Whenever you buy or build a newer home, you're going to be subject to newer building codes, probably more and better energy efficiency features. You're going to have more updated interior design. You might have taller ceilings and taller doors, wider walkways, wider staircases. You know what I'm talking about. Things like that, right? And then you're also going to, I mean, it's just newer, right? So it's fresh. So everything in the home is new. You don't really have to worry about things rusting or things that might be moldy or mildewy or things that are at their end of life, like the HVAC unit or your roof. So there's a lot of benefits with new construction. However, some of the things that get lost in new construction is the quaint aspect of the whimsy of some of these old homes. And when, you just can't get that character. Character, in my opinion, is something that is built over time. It is something that it just kind of evolves. You can't build a brand new home and it's like just, perfect edges everywhere. Go, that home has character. It might have something that's cute and quaint about it, but character is kind of deeply embedded in the walls. And that is what I think some of the older homes have. They have some of those really cool, quaint, unique features. So for instance, and I didn't take a picture of this, and I really should have. Maybe next week, if we're up for this, we'll talk about it. But so, and by the way, Carrie and Manny, if you were watching, I want you guys to chime in because it is your house that we're talking about when we talk about this older one, because I was just in love with it. They closed on their beautiful home, built in 1906, but come to find out that there was an original section of that home that was built in the late 1800s. Guys, I'm not kidding you. I just get so warm and fuzzy inside. I love that. I absolutely love the historical aspect of the homes and thinking about the families that lived in those homes, what they went through. They laughed there, they cried there, and they celebrated things in there, and they worked hard in that home, and that home provided them shelter. And then, of course, they added on to it. But when we did the walkthrough, or the final walkthrough of the home, there's just things with, a really tiny, narrow staircase. And the fact that after time, I mean, first of all, the staircase in there was this amazing wood, like not like your prefabbed, plank of handrail that you can go buy at Lowe's and stain. I mean, chunky, good, real wood. I mean, that's just amazing. The stairs, the little bit of the curve of the stairs. And then underneath, and again, if you're here, Carrie, you told me something special about the built-ins. Underneath the stair, there was these little glass cabinets that were built with some other like recycled wood from the house. Maybe it was from the barn or something. I'm not sure. But at any rate, older homes can have such character and such stories and such a life to them that it's not something you're necessarily going to find with new construction. Yes, we can talk about the lot size and the fact that that particular era of that home, I believe it's like 4 different parcels of land that person purchased, and then they built one home on it, but you could build more on it. Not something you could do now. You can't go into a new construction community and see the site plan and go, I would like to buy lots 6, 7, 8, and 9 and just build one house on them. Unfortunately, you can't do that. So there's a lot of that's the old versus the new. And I think, it kind of gives me pause a lot when I look at their home and I think about what they're doing and how they're going to be renovating things. Oh my goodness. So there they are. They're popping in. We're head over heels in love with it. This stairwell. It is so cool. I mean, I was so honored, like, to walk through that house. Like, truly, I know that sounds totally corny, and get it. I am a very emotional person. I'm very corny. But I felt honored to walk into that home that had so much history built into it. And that's just so cool. I think I told you before, when Eric and I we'd only been married a few years, I guess, and he had a business trip out to, is it San Francisco? Out to San Francisco. And my sister came over and watched, I think Forrest was the only one we had at the time. She came and watched him, and I flew out to meet Eric at the end of his business conference, and we went to like Alcatraz. So it wasn't so much that it was a jail, it was just so much the cool history of everything. And I get really, really, really kind of just into that, and I just love that. So anyway, so let's see what some of the things are. Yeah, so they're head over heels in love with it. Oh, that's what it was. A crate from the piano that the original owner had shipped over from England. I mean, come on. I'm sorry. You're not going to get that with your quartz counter and your backsplash with your, stainless steel vented hood. You're not going to get that type of cool character in a home. That's what it was. I'm so glad you told us. Yes, a crate from a piano that the original owner had shipped over from England, and that's how they built those, or Europe. Okay, whatever. It's fine. Yeah, and she said it confirmed it's 4 lots, and it turns out they have an old gopher turtle. So that is it, right? There was this big hole in their backyard. Not a big hole, but it was like a hole in a little mound. When we were walking out, they were trying to figure it out. So I guess you've researched it and figured it out. So it's a gopher turtle. I didn't know there was such a thing as a gopher turtle. And then she said, ironically, we almost bought the Palmer out in Mineola, but our love of old won out. Couldn't have said it better. I'm just so excited. So by the way, all of us, because as we know, the Enchanted Nomads are part of our Heart and Home Orlando Coffee Time family. While we're not going to video or like really document everything that they do, I was promised that as they go through some of these projects, that they will, that they'll kind of share some of the ways that they've kept that character and that integrity and that history of the home, but brought it back to life and leveled the floors and things like that. Anyway, so old versus new. That was a fun one. I'm really excited about that topic. You can see I get a little passionate about that. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Now let's go to something just really exciting, like drainage. I don't mean with your like seasonal cold. I mean with drainage, like with rainwater, stormwater. Do you need gutters? What is the drainage like and flooding like here in Florida? So this is a question that we get all the time. It is a question that I had when we first built our first home here in Florida. As we're doing our walkthrough at the end, the final walkthrough, I'm like, you don't have gutters? Like, why don't you have gutters on your house? Like in Virginia, we've got gutters on your house. I honestly don't remember if we paid extra for our gutters or if they just came with our house. I don't remember because it was a long time ago. But it is not something that is automatically, included in your home here. You can add gutters, and sometimes you need to add gutters, and sometimes you don't. So that is something to note when you are building a home here, specifically new construction. You may or may not, but you probably will have an option with the builder in those options when you are going through the things that you want to add to your home, if you would like the builder to go ahead and install the gutters. That is one of those questions when I'm with my clients and we're contracting and they're going through some structural options and they're asking some of those questions that they will look to me kind of for advice. And I will tell you, in my opinion, the builder's pricing on the gutters is actually not that bad. There are some things that are ridiculously overpriced. Gutters are not one of them. So I would say, yeah, for the sake of ease and convenience and for warranty, go ahead and let the builders put the gutters on. But here's the other thing. In our first home that we built when we moved here, we did not have gutters, nor did we ever install gutters, and it still does not have gutters. And there is absolutely zero problem with drainage or flooding. A lot of it has to do with the pitch of your roof. So that's going to be probably key factor number one. How many peaks and gables does your roof have? What is the pitch of it? And, where is that water going to run off to? Now, the county already has grading requirements. So when you get your survey, actually, I believe it's even your pre-construction meeting, they will give you the land survey, and it tells you kind of how that water is going to drain off and away from your home. And that is important. That's to code by the county. So these are a lot of things that people don't even think about when they are buying a home. That, yeah, like we've taken that into consideration, people. The county wants to make sure that the water runoff when it rains is going to run away from your home. Now, when we have massive downpours and we have hurricanes, can it pool? Yes, of course it can pool. Sometimes it just can't drain fast enough. But with gutters, you can install gutters. Either with the builder, you can install them later. You could buy a home that's 10 years old, never had gutters, and still install them. You can absolutely do that. My advice is always to look and see, how does the rain, when the rain comes down, all I can think of is when the rain comes down, down, down. Anyway, when the rain does come down, how and where does it drain and where does it come off? So you may find that you don't ever need gutters, or you may decide that you do. This home we definitely did because we knew that from the beginning, so we had the builder do it. The other part again is the drainage, right? So the drainage is going to go away from your home. We have these dry retention ponds that are in almost all of the communities, and they have an actual purpose. Part of that is going to be for these big storms to help all that influx of water to drain properly. So sometimes there's one near you, sometimes there's one in your backyard, sometimes there's one down the street. But in all cases and in all ways, it has already been pre-thought through, and your land, your property should be graded as such. Are there mistakes? Yes, sometimes that happens. They usually, I believe the builders say, if we have a hard rain and your water, there's still standing water 24 hours later, then we need to maybe call them and have them come back out. But otherwise, you're supposed to give them 24 hours for it to soak in and spread out. And then flooding. Flooding, we've talked about that a lot, especially when hurricanes are kind of out there in the atmosphere. As to whether or not all homes need to have flood insurance. And the answer is no. If you don't live in a flood zone, which by the way, the majority of these houses, I'm looking out this window and there's a lake over there. There's a lake over there. We do not have, we are not in a flood zone where I live. We do not have flood insurance. So there's a lot of places here that do not have any concern with the flooding. It's just a matter of making sure that if you are in a flood zone that you do have that insurance. But for the day-to-day rain and stuff, you don't necessarily need gutters. You can certainly add them. All right, I feel like we may have some questions here. Oh, Kim says, we're having some gutters installed in a couple of weeks. Did you find that your house needed them based on the drain of the roof from when they came? And then Pam says, we didn't like the look of the gutters that our builder provided, so we went with another company. It was much cheaper and they look great. Okay, that's good info. That's actually really good info. Yeah, so sometimes with builders, you don't have a lot of options. You don't have a lot of color choices. It's kind of just the standard, gutter that kind of everybody has. But that's really good to know. So again, then I guess that's a good thing. Do your research if you want to price shop it. I wanted to see, did Rob say anything about how he's feeling? I just see a couple people asking Rob how Rob's doing. Rob, have you answered us? How are you doing, Rob? We want to make sure you're feeling well today. He's always asking about Eric, and we will get to Eric. Oh, Kim says yes, especially at the front door. Okay, very good. Okay, well, Kim, so that's really good. So that's important. Obviously, you don't want to walk out to a waterfall. So if you find that as you live in your home and as the rain comes down, if you need to add those gutters, then I think it's definitely something you'll want to do. But just remember, they don't come with them automatically. Anyway, so if you got any questions about that, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to move on to our third brewing topic, which is holiday sludge. Now, I don't know if sludge is really the right word, because I'm not saying that the holiday is sludgy. What I mean is in real estate, the foot traffic is nearly non-existent. We have, they say that nationally, September through November is typically the slowest time or the slowest months. I'm going to back it up a little bit here in Florida and potentially for any of those states that have schools that start back in August. I'm going to say that August to November is pretty slow. December is iffy because here, while it is December and it's still holiday season, this is the time where it starts to get cold up north. And so there's a lot of people that are looking to, every year they're like, I'm done with the snow. I'm done with the snow. I'm done with the snow. It's like a broken record, right? And then every year we get those people that are like, I've said it and this is it. This is the time I'm moving. So December can be a busy month for people that are looking maybe to have a second vacation home here or to winter here. So it can be busy. I mean, this year I haven't found it incredibly busy, but it's definitely slower. So again, if you're thinking about that, if you're thinking, oh, in Florida, when is the best time to sell my home? Probably not around the holidays, just because we simply have slower foot traffic. If you have to, here's the good news. If you do need to have your home on the market during the holiday season, or that slower time frame, the buyers are more serious. There's not really many looky-loos that are looking in that like September to November timeline. So if your home is on the market, the good thing to note is that most of the buyers out there are serious and they're looking for something to buy. So that's important to note. The other part of it is that the best time to actually sell a home here in Florida. And again, we tend to start to get busier, and we see it. Daisy, stop. We let me give her a treat because I have treats in my pocket, and then maybe she'll be quiet. Here you go. Here you go. It's a Christmas tree treat. See? Here you go. All right. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I tend to think that as soon as we get to the first of the year, it starts to get a little bit busier. You just start to see things picking up. People are like, okay, new year, new plans, new goals, new life adventures. And some of those mean moving to Florida to finally make their dream come true, especially if you want to live here in Disney's backyard. But so I would say things pick up in January, February, but it gets really busy. That March, April, May, June is very busy because even if you don't have kids, the other reason that people slow down the sales, again, Florida's a little bit different, but nationally, one of the reasons that there's not a lot of home sales in those winter months is the weather. How many clients have we had that have lived in the north that are like, well, I got to wait we have a beautiful lake view. We have this gorgeous lake and mountains, but it's frozen over and it's not really pretty until the spring comes. And so they want to wait until the lake thaws so weather can be a very big determining factor on that slow foot traffic over the holidays, especially for sellers. But for us, I think that if you're looking to sell or if you're looking to buy, your best time to do that is in that spring. Then that's going to be probably pretty true nationally anyway. But I would say February through, June. July is pushing it because our schools start in August. So for anyone that has kids or anyone that has a job or anything that's related to that school calendar, that school timeline, we might be in flux. And remember, it takes 30 days on average from contract to close here. So if our kids start school the middle of August, you need to have probably contracted the middle of July to close the 1st of July to be able to close the 1st of August to give yourselves like a week or two to get into your new home. So again, if you push that back, okay, well, 1st of July we contract. Well, we were looking in June. We were looking in May. So anyway, so there you go. There's our brewing topics for the day, except my friends, we do have one more. We have our Eric update. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do an Eric update. Do you want me to talk you through? Okay, I will just talk you through Eric's update. So
I'll come up in a minute.
That's fine. So Eric's update. We have a picture of it? There it is. Yes. Counting on Miami, nausea night, immunotherapy, and fingers crossed for Thanksgiving. So Counting on Miami. Do you want me to talk it through a little bit? Okay. All right. So Counting on Miami. So we had a very, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. So last week on Tuesday we had chemo. Again, it's Eric. He's doing all the hard stuff. Eric had chemo on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we met with the liver specialist. We had high hopes and had a great appointment with him on Wednesday morning. Basically, he did exactly what we were hoping he would do, which was he asked about insurance, confirmed we were good with Mayo, and he said, I'm putting in that referral to Mayo today.
Oh, MRI.
MRI. No, he did say he was putting in the referral to Mayo, but that he also was ordering an MRI stat. That's what I was getting to. So there was a MRI, and that's where he went. So anyway, so when they did stat, they meant it, right? So we went down the hallway, they got into scheduling, and a couple hours later, he had an MRI, and then did the MRI. It was about 45 minutes ish, and he called me back and he said, "Hey, I'm done. They just wanted to hang on for a minute. They wanted the radiologist to come in and take a look before I get dressed and we leave, just to make sure that we have everything we need so that we can send it to Mayo." Unfortunately, I think Eric got a little, some vibes in there that there was conversations happening with the MRI. And to save you the rest of the story, ultimately, the tumor has unfortunately grown. It was 2.3 and now it is 4.4. Unfortunately, that takes us out of a Mayo opportunity. So did some research and it looks like Miami, is it the University of Miami? University of Miami has a protocol where they can possibly do a transplant with a tumor that is up to 5 centimeters. So we are counting on Miami. Our liver specialist has done I guess he's reached out to someone there. So we're kind of hoping to hear from them today. So at the moment, everyone cross your fingers for Miami. This is kind of our required next plan. Nausea night. Eric said he was feeling kind of nauseous last night. This has been several chemo treatments into things now, so they say it gets worse as it goes on, and I think Eric is starting to feel the nausea setting in a little bit more. You getting up, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. Want me to keep talking? No, I'll let you talk.
It blows.
It blows.
It's had a bad night. Just I got. This is why I wasn't going to be on camera. I don't know if my voice is going to work until I start talking. And my mouth is really dry, so none of this is as bad as it sounds. I just have some nausea for the first time. And it's what I expected, and here we go. That's all.
Yeah.
What are the other things on the list?
It was the Thanksgiving.
Everyone's coming for Thanksgiving. I hope I can be out and with the family. And then, what was the fourth one?
There was a fourth one. Let me see what it was. Eric. Immunotherapy.
Oh, and I start immunotherapy, which is a different treatment, which is what my chemo doctor has wanted to do the whole time. So I'm hopeful about that. That may rule me out for some time from a transplant, but we have to shrink this tumor. So I didn't mean to be a downer. My whole appearance and everything is a downer.
Love you, baby.
But I love you guys all. Mm-hmm. It's not going great, but I'm onward.
Okay. Always with the sense of humor. So, yeah. So from what, there's so much information that comes at you. We're still learning this. We're still navigating it, of course, as we go. But they originally said, no immunotherapy because you can't then have a transplant. Well, come to find out when we met with our doctor on Wednesday that it's not true that you can't have immunotherapy or you can't have a transplant if you have immunotherapy. It's that if you have that, then you have to have your course of it, and then you have to wait 3 months before you could then have a transplant. So it just adds time that, can be a challenge. So that's kind of where we are with that. So if you are of the mindset to continue those positive thoughts and vibes and prayers and whatever else you want to throw out into that universe, we are desperately now counting on not the Mayo Clinic anymore, Miami. We are desperately counting on the University of Miami. You. To reach back out to us and to get Eric there, as soon as possible to determine whether or not he's a candidate for the transplant, and let's get this going. So that's where we are with the Eric update. And yes, we know that's important to keep you updated because we know you guys do care so much. But I'm going to go now to something that's very fun and happy because we have to change my tears. Okay, look at them. Don't you want to eat them? Don't you just want to eat them? Oh my gosh. So they came over I know what it was. They came over on was it yesterday? No, Saturday. They came over Saturday and hung out for a little while. Elsie, oh my gosh, she's got on a little cheetah outfit there. And what you can't see are the little feet things or little animals. And then Easton is there on the left. He's all decked out. I believe they were going to Publix, but he was definitely sporting a new fit. Is that what they say? I don't know what the cool kids say. To go to Publix. He's got his little turkey hat on. He's got his little turkey legging or pants on. They're just so stinking cute. And I will tell you, they are definitely a bright spot in our day all the time. So grateful that they live so close to us and that we're able to pop over all the time and vice versa to kind of get some of those smooches in. It's the perfect timing because for the holidays, they're both, sitting up fine in the high chair. They're both eating pureed foods now. They're both, teething, so they're chewing on the teether things. By the way, I know I'm old school, but does anyone else remember Zwieback toast? Does anybody remember that? I don't know. Anyway, I've told the girls about this, but I guess it's not a thing anymore because there's all these other fancy things like these little banana things that they can gnaw on. But we're just really excited because for Thanksgiving, they can actually have the baby version of some mashed potatoes or some green beans or some carrots or some sweet potatoes. And I even bought some jars of turkey and turkey broth, and it looks disgusting, but we shall see how that goes. But anyway, so there's Easton and Elsie update. We wanted to switch and know that there are things that are going to get my tears to dry up. Although they're stinking cute, so sometimes I cry happy tears for them. All right, so yes, let's see. Allie just said, don't forget to like the stream, folks. Enchanted Nomads, you remember Zwieback? Oh my goodness, where's oh, you guys are sweet. Okay, I won't post all of those up there. Anyway, all right, so let's go back then to, where was I? So we did all of our brewing topics. We did babies. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to do weather because you see what I'm wearing today? Do you see what I'm wearing? Yeah. So here is our weather forecast for this week. Now, I will tell you, it was pretty daggone cold the other day. In fact, it was so nice that I went out and was doing some weeding in the pool. There's the flower beds inside the pool cage with the trees and the palms and all that stuff. I was pulling some weeds. And by the way, there's a lot of spiky things in these palm trees, and I got stabbed like multiple times, and now I'm having reactions in all these little places. That's why I have a Band-Aid here. That one got me good. But the point was, it was beautiful. We weren't out there pulling weeds in dripping sweat. So today, 78 with a low of 50. Tomorrow, almost 80. Wednesday, 81. Thursday, Thanksgiving, 82. And then again, you can kind of see the weather in the low to mid to high 70s. That's kind of typical for our holiday or for our November timeline here. It's just perfect. It's cool enough that you can wear something like this, which we cannot wear in August. It's just not going to happen. And so it's just nice that we are finally able to put on some long sleeve shirts, or to grab a sweater, or to grab a little cardigan, or to grab a little sweater vest, or to wear jeans, or to have some of those cute boots. Yes, I know, I'm a girl. Get with it. If you're a dude, then you can wear whatever it is, like your hoodie. But it's just a really, really, really nice time. Jane said, windows all open then, Amy. So here's the truth, Jane. You know me well. So yes and no. Eric has been really, really, really cold. That's just normal. And so even though in his room I didn't open the windows, I do like to get the fresh air in sometimes. I just think that's really important to let your house air out. So I did have some open, and I did do that for a little bit, but I don't want to do it as much as I normally would because I don't want Eric to freeze. So it just depends. But yes, I do like my windows open. Okay, let's see. Susie says, are there any new and upcoming communities in the works that we haven't heard about? Well, I don't know what everybody has heard about. So I will tell you, the area to continue to watch here as far as the excitement with the continued growth is Silverleaf and Silverleaf Oaks. Which again, we have heard about that. That's here in Horizon West. There's quite a few communities out in Lake Alfred. So if you're looking for a much lower price point, I've had quite a few clients express some interest out there. There's quite a few builders. So we're talking, under 400,000, in the 3 to 4 to 450 range. So if you can't quite get to where you want to be, maybe that's an area you could consider. But
Dreamfinders up Avalon.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the new Dreamfinders community up Avalon Road. I don't know that it has a name yet. They've had that coming soon sign up there forever, as they typically do. But you can see now that they have cleared. So if you're familiar with the area, at New Independence Parkway, you have where Hamlin is, right? Where Hamlin is, there's a community called Hamilton Gardens, and that was a Ryan Home community. This community is kind of behind it and beside it off toward Avalon. So they are clearing for that, my friends. So that's going to be exciting because I do love those Dreamfinders floor plans and their versatility. And I have all signs point toward they'll still have their same deck of cars, their Anna Marias, their Tidewaters, their Arlingtons and Avalons, and lots of their good floor plans that are going to, be big sellers again? That's a good question though, Susie. All right, let's see. All right, I wanted to move on because I wanted to go to, was it Scoop? Yeah. Okay, so this is the scoop for us here in Horizon West in Disney's backyard. They have just broken ground for our library. Allie, I know you are super excited about this. I know all of the families out here are. You know, there are certain things that we miss in the world, with the world being the way it is, when you've got a phone like this and you can read your book on your phone, you can do anything in your phone. You know, you're writing a paper for school. You don't have to go to the library to research anything because everything is right there. However, there's just still something so completely community fulfilling, if that makes sense, to have your local library where you can go and take the kids and teach them all the joy of reading and checking out books and borrowing things and being responsible for them and returning them and all of that fun stuff. And it's good because I was questioning it for a long time. Outside of Hamlin, or outside in the Hamlin area, there is a library return box that's been there outside of that UPS store for a while. And I was always going, well, where are the books going? But I figured it was just going to the other library, which I'm sure is. But anyway, this is just exciting. So we're very, very, very excited about this. Love the picture that they have broken ground on it. And by the way, if you don't know where this is, to my understanding, and Eric, you can yell at me if I'm wrong, I believe this is close to the park that they're building down there, kind of continuing down past the Walmart area. Is that correct? Ish, somewhere around there? Okay, cool. Very good. Very excited about that. Jane says, I adore going into a library, so much potential. Yeah, absolutely. And then Amy, you said, are there homes without any association fees near Disney? Not likely. Pretty much any community, especially if you're near Disney. I mean, everything here in Horizon West. I mean, every community is going to have some sort of a homeowners association. Even the communities that are in places that are a little bit more touristy, like Kissimmee and a Davenport, even if you have short-term rental areas, those still have HOA fees. So whether you're living there permanently or whether you're using it as an investment property or a little bit of both, they still have associations. But there are communities that don't. They're just typically a little bit more spread out. There are some communities a little bit further out in Claremont, maybe some way out in Groveland. So there are some that exist that aren't too terribly far away from Disney, but near Disney, what I consider that Disney bubble, most everything is going to have some sort of an association. But that's a really good question. Okay. Lee says, and I saw a sign for Primrose School for nursery school age parents coming soon on Sidell. Yes, saw that too. Absolutely. There's just a lot of fun stuff that's happening. Very excited about this area. And I've said before, it's so exciting, especially for those people that built here, when Horizon West was still just a word and a place that nobody really knew about. To see all of this kind of come to fruition, it's just been really exciting to see, the neighborhoods, the communities, the amenity centers, the community, the entertainment aspects of it, the restaurants, now the library and parks. And it's really exciting to see all of that come together and be this beautiful place and this great, family-oriented place to live and raise your family, or to settle down after you've raised your family here in Disney's backyard, and still being able to enjoy the proximity to that magical place on Earth. So, or the most magical place on Earth. Okay, perfect. All right, let me go back over. I wanted to scooch back over to, where did I want to go? To what I'm watching. Okay, so I actually finished this already. I didn't realize when I was watching the last episode that there was only one season of it. It's called The Stand, and I just stumbled across it when I was trying to find Yellowstone on Paramount Plus. It was just something else that kind of popped up. So I watched it, and it got a little weird, but it was okay. I mean, it wasn't wasted time. So I watched it. I don't know if there's a season 2. If there is, I'll probably watch it, but I don't know that it's got enough depth to it to last much longer than that. So, but anyway, I watched it. So if you're bored, there's something you can watch. And of course, the Hallmark movies. I will say I used to watch them like religiously. I haven't watched them in forever, but this morning Daisy woke me up very early, and so I turned on instead of the infomercials, I turned it on the Hallmark channel, and it was, it's not real. I wish all those places were real. Maybe they are somewhere, but I've yet to go to one. So that's my goal. I'll find one of those quaint little Hallmark towns, and I'll meet all the people, and we'll find a time capsule, and we'll open it all up with a magical key that's hidden under the sleigh. Anyway, all right, moving on. Okay, so Eric, did you have anything else you wanted to add, babe? Okay, he says no. So I'm going to go to our word of the day.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
All right, so our word today obviously is gratitude. That certainly makes sense. It's not necessarily a real estate word, but it is a word that is completely relevant to where we are in the time of year and the season that we're in. And as we say it, all the time here, how much we appreciate you. It is just another opportunity for us to reiterate that to you so that you do know that it genuinely comes from the bottom of our heart, and how we have grown into this little family. And again, I said it last week and I'll say it again. People just don't understand what we have here with you, and all of you that aren't even commenting. We know, because we know you exist. You may text or you may email us, and you just may not be able to comment here. We are just so grateful for you and so happy that you are a part of our Monday mornings. Allie just said, hold on, wait. Allie says there's a Christmas movie called Hot Frosty that just came out. Do with that what you will. Is it on the Hallmark channel? Hot Frosty. That's a little scary. I mean, is Frosty still Frosty if he's hot? I don't know. Oh, wait, Jane says she watched that yesterday. Oh my gosh. So Jane, was it worth watching? Let us all know. We're all very intrigued by Hot Frosty. That's funny. Elizabeth said that Elsie is ready for her nap. Have a great week, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, give Elsie a smooch for us. You guys are so cute. Okay, so before we head out, I want to go over one more thing, which is our cup. All right, so as our cup overflows, back to the word of the day, our cup is overflowing with gratitude for you. Again, we say it over and over and over, and I hope you genuinely feel it, because we really, really, really do mean it. We are grateful to you. You are what helps get us up. Literally, Eric feels horrible, and I kept saying, we don't have to do it today. We don't have to do it. He's like, nope, we're doing it. And we do that because you are our family, and we want to make sure that we keep you updated and that we keep you, entertained with the dogs running around and having bones. But as we finish this up, I would just like to say, as we all grab our little coffee mugs today, or beverage of your choice, whatever it is that you're drinking, if you do celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you are able to not blink and take in every moment, get your face out of your phone. And you can watch football, that's fine. But get your face out of the phone and look at the people that are around you. Stare at those faces. I know some of us only get together at Thanksgiving, and they come from far and wide, and that's it. They get to see them once, maybe twice a year, and Thanksgiving is one of them. So I hope that everyone takes Thanksgiving and is thankful for everything. For the meaning of Thanksgiving, and for the loved ones that are around you. And with that, I will toast you that says, may your home always be too small for those that you call your friends. So I do. It's real estate related, right? I hope your home is too small for all those that you consider friends. So with that, guys, we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you guys. And as always, happy hunting. We'll see you guys next week. Fingers crossed. Send those vibes for Miami. We love you guys. Bye-bye.